right, welcome to the Footy Museum and the Footy Museum podcast. I am Justin Whitty. I am the co-director of the Footy Museum, a prestigious title with very poor pay. And I am joined by fellow co-director of the Footy Museum, Maria Van Dyken Lee. Maria, how are you today?
It's a great day to be a football fan. There's so much football happening
There
in
is.
the world.
We have the FA Cup. We have the ongoing preseason tournament of Inter Miami FC. All the leagues are in full swing. So many exciting things. There's the AFCON competition. There's just a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a whole world of football.
And it's about to get more because MLS announced, along with Netflix, that Netflix will be producing an 8-episode series about the league. It is by Box to Box Media, the same company that did the F1 series, Drive to Survive.
Oh, that's how Jeremy got into F1.
Oh my God. A lot of people got into F1.
Yeah.
So the question going around the internet is, how honest is MLS going to be? Because that's really what's going to draw people in. You got to show the warts, right?
Yeah.
I just want to say to Netflix, if you need someone to talk about the fire or anything else, we humbly offer our services.
On our segment Footy Fire, brought to you by
the
Athlete's
Chicago.
Foot Cream and the Chicago Fire.
So we will be hashtagging all our episodes. Netflix, please hire us. But that's going to be exciting. And it could, I mean, if played right, it could be huge for the league, almost as big as a major DP signing. So we'll see what they do. And I wonder how they'll deal with the issues of the Open Cup and things like that. In other MLS news this week, did you see this?
Yeah.
Is this the first time ever a kit leak has come through a video game?
No, I think it's happened maybe to a smaller extent before. I feel like it maybe with a woman's kit or something.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but
Well, it seems like there's a lot of room for error. But what we're looking at is EA Sports, who produce EA 24, formerly all the FIFA games, the most popular. I think it's still the most popular soccer video game, right up, I think maybe Manager's up there with it. But they released in their ultimate team setup, they accidentally released all the new MLS kits prior to the actual release.
is some intern getting fired?
Oh my God. I think they've switched it back. But the worst part is the kits look horrible.
I had that impression too. I saw Nashville was one of the ones as well, right? And I saw the close up of that and I was like,
I mean, last year they had some good ones. And I'm looking at that Sounders one and they have their new crest this year. I hope that's not what their kit's going to look like. Maybe it's just a big ruse.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's a little conspiracy to make us have really low expectations.
Yeah, maybe.
And then they'll come out with the
It's
real
the
ones.
whole rebrand thing.
Yeah.
That Austin one looks like a total ringer tee you would wear in Austin, though.
Oh, but compared to their current ones, it's not as exciting.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. You know, it's not exciting. Jürgen Klopp will be leaving Liverpool at the end of the season. And he promises he's not going to another club, not another country, at least for a year. And I'm going to start the rumor now that he's going to come to the U.S. The U.S. women's team already hired the top female coach in the world. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe that's it.
Maybe they made him an offer he can't refuse.
And they said it's in a year, and it's a year. And he does have that connection with Christian Pulisic. He was his manager at Dortmund. And they do get along.
Yeah, maybe he's just like, I'm tired. I got to take a break.
He said, I'm running out of energy. I'm running out of energy. It is a sad day because he is such kind of a larger than life figure. And I'm sure he has flaws as much as any celebrity or someone under that much pressure and surrounded by that much wealth. But what comes across is kind of a genuine humanity that I think people react to.
Yeah.
Like those big Kloppian bear hugs. He speaks very honestly about kind of approaching the game and life in a genuine, honest, beneficial way that I think in the world in general, and especially football, it's a nice break. So I look forward to him heading up the U.S. men's national team. It's going to be quite the end of the season in the EPL as Liverpool continue to push for the title, with it being his last season. It's
That'll
gonna
make
be
it mean more. if
an
they
emotional
win.
roller coaster. Lots of big hugs. I'm going to miss those teeth, though.
Yeah. And the like
The grimace.
cuts to him while they're like behind and he's like,
Oh, as sweet as he is, I would not want him to be mad at me.
I don't like it when anybody's mad at me.
Oh, that's true. We cursed PSV last week when we highlighted their first draw of the season.
It's the Footy Museum curse.
Now, they have not lost in regular season play, but they did lose the Dutch Cup final to Feyenoord. So I had to update our graphic from last week. They're starting to fall in line with our other Footy Museum teams. I'm sorry, PSV. But also this week is the FA Cup continues, and what an exciting weekend it has been. First and foremost, history made with Maidstone United FC, a 6th tier team with a AstroTurf stadium that seats just over 4,000. And if you read the entry on it, only 200 some is standing. So I guess it's just, only 200 some is seated, excuse me.
So it's really just like 200, a stadium for 200 and then
Seats,
standing
and
space.
then standing space. They beat Ipswich Town, which is a championship side. So a full 4 levels above them to move on to the 5th round of the FA Cup, where they very likely could face a Premier League club. Most likely will. This is the first time since 1977, the 1977-78 season, that a team from that far down the table has advanced to the 5th round. Congratulations to Maidstone.
How do they decide where they play for the next round?
I would have to look at that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they could play at home if they have turf.
Oh, do they? Is there that restriction?
I don't know. That's something that we have to research. Those are good questions.
These are good questions.
Another interesting team that, as of recording, is down 2-1 to Manchester United is another lower level side. Not quite as low. They are League 2 side, the same league
Still
as
exciting.
Wrexham. And like Wrexham, this is a Welsh club, the Newport County Exiles. Fascinating history of this club.
Tell me more.
So they, like Wrexham, also had influential American owner. This is a team that in 1980 won the Welsh Cup, which qualified it for European competition, in which it did fairly well. But by the end of that decade, by 1989, they were relegated twice, and then they became financially insolvent, and they had over $300,000 or pounds in debt. A lot of that due to the mismanagement of their owner, Jerry Sherman. Jerry Sherman, who, if you read about him or look at him, very much like the fictional William Bauman from the Footy Museum, 1970s Footy Museum history, kind of a shuckster. Lots of promises, didn't follow up. And he led this team along with, there was other elements of play, but he didn't help. So the team actually went bankrupt and closed in 1989. Side note, Sherman later in 2007 in his life was imprisoned for defrauding the family of a player from a youth hockey team in the United States.
Really like to see this movie.
Yes. So Newport County was reformed by a group of players and supporters. They restarted the club. But they were not allowed to play in their home stadium because Jerry in the previous iteration had not paid rent. Because previously they had decided to sell their own stadium back to the county to try to cover expenses. The stadium was not willing to trust them, saying, you just changed your ownership, you still owe us this money.
Yeah.
They ended up playing 80 miles outside of Newport County, which is a huge distance in England.
Yeah.
But thus came their new nickname, the Exiles, the Newport County Exiles, which I think is fantastic.
That is fantastic.
Now they're back. They worked their way back up to League 2. And just before we recorded, they scored a banger of a goal to draw back one against United. So we'll see how
they could still totally tie.
It's going to be, they're going to come back.
One of my favorite cheers is, we can tie, we can tie, we can tie, tie.
Another winner this week was Luton Town over Everton.
What is this?
And I only bring it up because I was looking at some of their crests, and a lot of the fans deride this 1980s Luton Town football club.
Gorgeous,
I think
floor tile pattern.
It's amazing.
Parquet.
from the font to the parquet football to the like LT, especially because our new one is very fussy. I think it's overly fussy.
This is like the Luton Town equivalent of the Leeds Smiley.
It is.
Yeah.
So we are starting it here. Bring back the Luton Town parquet.
Back parquet floor. Bring back.
This could easily be a basketball logo too. Like maybe they should keep this and start a basketball team too.
I bet they have a basketball team.
No, they're not like those Spanish athletic clubs that have all. No, I doubt it.
3 guys who play pickup.
That's true. I bet there's guys in Luton Town who do play basketball. I'm gonna go out on a limb. A few other things. I don't know if you caught the Fulham game last week where supporters had the great idea to have white banners to really create a sense of presence and atmosphere.
Some type of presence.
I think this is maybe an instance of issue of teams and supporter groups not having a sense of their global presence. Because what happened is for much of the game, as the fans propped up their white flags they were going to wave, they appeared very much on the broadcast like white hoods.
Yeah. Which
is an image in the United States, which is incredibly jarring. And I know they got pushback from that. But I did think it was interesting because of the fact that these teams have to really think of themselves as global players. Global teams. And they could be doing something they're completely unaware of. And it can have that effect across the country. I don't know the history of the Klan in England. I don't want to know, and I don't want to give time to that history. But I do think it's an interesting phenomena in this game, in the world now.
Yeah, it speaks to that for sure. And like you see it whenever this type of thing happens in Europe, like with those Easter parades in Spain, where everyone's like, what is this if it's the first time they've seen it? But like... Actually,
the Easter parades where where different people wear peaked hooded religious outfits that look
which is
a
what
lot
those
like,
hoods were based on. Yeah. So, that's so true. It does speak to like the global impact that we have with one another, going back and forth.
And it goes both ways because I know that Milan this past week had turned out all the lights in the stadium and lit up their scoreboard with a quote from MLK in reaction to the ongoing racial problems in Italy, where their goalkeeper was under previous week was under kind of racial harassment from Italian fans. Italian fans, get it together. I mean, it's like great. There's great sport, but you idiotically and embarrassingly ridicule some of the best players in your league. Yeah. And it's, people around the world have choices of what to watch. And I'll just leave it at that. Also, we're in new kit season, and there was one of note I thought I would highlight: Brazilian club Palmeiras.
I quite like this
kind
presentation.
Of retro kit, back with a collar. I always love their oversized crest, but the gold. A lot of teams playing with the gold now. It works really good with this green.
Yeah, the shimmer. The shimmer's nice. I think the shimmer looks really good against the polyester because it has a silky look.
It's classy. I know that there's a big Palmeiras following in Chicago. We should try to check that out. So that's kind of what's going on this week. There's some things we didn't fully keep on, like we didn't go too deep into AFCON, but we've been doing a lot of research about Chicago footballing history, which we'll talk about later this week, but that's what's kind of kept us busy.
Occupied a very large portion of my brain.
Side note, hot goss.
Let me know.
I was walking my dog and I ran into a employee of the Chicago Fire Football Club. I will not give any more specifics because I don't want to say anything I shouldn't. It's just, I think that it's nice to think about the season coming, and I think that everyone over there is really working really hard to get things forward, move things forward, and it's exciting and it's cool just to walk around your neighborhood and run into people very much involved in that. So.
Yeah, and you got a little like off the record information. Yeah,
I got some stuff I can't share. Yeah, they're redesigning the logo again. No, just kidding. All right. That is it for now. We will see you soon. Thank you so much for visiting the Footy Museum. And please check out our website, thefootymuseum.com, or follow us. I'm really trying to get to 1,500 Threads followers before the end of the month.
I think you can do it.
So get on Threads, follow us.